I've been playing Siege for nearly 6 years now, and I think it's safe to say the game has had its issues. It still has its issues, rather, be that trash, stale maps, or garbage servers, but I think we can all agree that we all do love Siege. Nothing does Siege like Siege does Siege. And a good night on Siege can be the most fun and competitive experience you have in the modern gaming market. However, we do have one problem, and that is teammates. Now, when I talk about teammates, I'm not talking about the ragers who sit there and just yell at you all game, calling you shit, criticising every move you make while running in and dying in 3 seconds. I'm talking about solo queuers, in particular silent solo queuers, but not so much the silent ones, the almost silent solo queuers. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't me trashing on anyone who just solo queues. I solo queue sometimes when my pals ain't on, but typically I play in a 3-man stack. And what really has been grinding my gears recently, and I've seen it for a long time, is players, or 1 or 2 players, who refuse to communicate with you all game. They don't try in the beginning, they don't try halfway through. You won't hear their voices up until about round 4 if you lose, round 5 if you lose an overtime. And they will complain at you for not making callouts when they die, without running in or droning or making any callouts themselves. Look, if you have joined a competitive environment as a solo player, made no effort to communicate with your team, why in the name of sweet Fanny Jesus do you expect the people who have active communications with you, because they're likely in a stack, to try and communicate with you? I mean, it takes 3 seconds to say hello. As a random player, when solo queuing, I always say hello, in voice or text chat, just to make my presence known. Now, I respect voice chat isn't always an option for people. Maybe you don't live alone, maybe it's 3 in the morning, maybe you just don't have a microphone. Although that last one, why don't you have a microphone, dude? It's 2021, you can get one for 15 quid from Tesco's, it might not be the best, but it works. And you're playing a competitive game, you should have a microphone. And even if you don't, there is still text chat. Or you can't speak, there is still text chat. And yeah, well, text chat can cause a delay in getting information to your team more than voice. It will still make decent players on your team understand that you are trying to help. You are trying to be a functional teammate. And that just makes them more likely to want to work with you. And as a stack, I feel it's just courteous to say, hello team, do you speak English? It introduces them to the idea that you're not just another fucking dick with his friends who's just going to flame them over nothing, and you're actually willing to work with them. If they don't say anything, or don't speak English, bad luck, the matchmaker fucked up, but that's still not the person's fault. Now, trying to communicate with players on Siege might be unfruitful. Siege does have one of the worst communities I have ever seen for toxicity and server jumping. You know, we've all had that guy, Mr. Ala Jawadi, on like 400 ping from Namibia or Iran or something. We've all had those kinds of teammates. But I feel the cycle of not communicating when it's feasible to do so, and then screeching at your team when they don't act in the exact way you want them to, isn't helping. And the more players, new and old, we can get communicating with each other, will make the experience better for everyone, and it will stop pushing new players into this toxic little bracket. Now, I realise I am pissing into the wind as far as this video goes. It's not going to change anything, and it's probably just going to be buried in the mountain of just fucking kill feeds and shit like that, but I felt as though saying my piece and passing on some advice to the community was prudent. As I said, I've been around for a long time. I may have taken some big breaks from the game, and I might not be the best player, but I have been in this community for a long time, and I love Siege, and I just want the community to be better.